it was clean and...
What'd you just get yourself into, Michael?
Heck if I know.
Happy Friday, guys. I'm happy to say that last night we added another member to the fleet. This is a Rambler. This is an AMC 1964 Rambler Classic, and it is Michael's. Now, I will pin his channel below because he'll have more content on this car than I will, but I'm going to do a little video covering it. So, it's currently the day after we bought this, and we're going to start just fiddling with some things. The frame is in beautiful condition. This was a garage-kept car. There's not even any surface rust on the front bumper or back bumper. The interior is fine other than the seat covers. They're torn up, and then the trimming around the edge has to get repaired as well. We're going to have to do that. And then just some little odds and ends. It dies when you try to gas it a little bit. So I'm thinking we're probably having a fuel issue. Maybe it's running a little bit lean. Could be spark. Plugs are new, but I'm going to check the distributor, see if it's a points distributor, and if we're going to have to work on that at all. Overall, it's a solid car, but I'll get into some more stuff when Michael gets here. He should be here in about 30 minutes or so. But, yeah, this is Michael's new car. So we'll dive into some work on it in a second.
So the hood latch is right here in the grill, so we'll pop it. There we go. If I can find it, I'm trying to do this one-handed.
It's the same one.
Yeah, here, you want to grab the hood? It's hard to do this one-handed.
All right, we're going to pick one or the other.
Yes. Oh, there we go. So, there's my Costco battery. It's covered with a little piece of foam right there. Had it covered for when we were driving around. You see there were a couple small interesting things. Heater cords jumped out, so I'm going to diagnose that at some point, but there's some new parts, some old parts in there right now, so I'm going to get it fired up real quick. Just kind of get it backed out. Before we do that, though, see the engine ground is pretty loose right here, so I'm going to take care of that. Tighten it up a little bit.
Wire brush it.
Then, yeah, I'm going to hit it with a wire brush, make sure it's getting a good solid connection. It was having a bit of trouble running when we were getting on the trailer last night, and I believe that that's exactly why, but yeah, there she is. Always wanted plastic over her project, so here.
You gonna start it? Or are you gonna, you want to brush that first? Yeah, good idea. All right. So as Michael was saying before, we think that we were having issues here because we saw spark coming out of that when we bought the car last night. And essentially, we saw spark there because, A, we had the battery disconnected because the guy wanted the original battery back. It was a battery out of his race car, and he wanted that. So Michael had to buy one of them yesterday before we went to buy it. And now, since we put it back on, we noticed that this ground's really loose, so we're going to take it off, wire brush it for a better connection, and then just re-tighten it on and see if that does make a difference. It might not, but we're kind of starting with the simple things first, so we know that we're covered there, and then we can dive into carburetor, fuel, distributor, plugs, wires, whatever it may be that's giving us a dying issue on it, but we'll dive into that in a second. We'll see what we find. Just check the oil. Oil was a little bit dark, but there's no shavings or anything. Tighten that ground down after we took it off and sanded it. We're going to have to tighten the alternator if we take it anywhere, just to tighten the belt, get some tension on it. And then Michael's about to start it, and we'll see where we're at.
I'm going to try to start this up. Like I said, I just tightened down the ground, which is preventing us from being able to start again. So we'll see if it starts first try.
All right. Might want to pump the gas a little bit, get some fuel in the bowls.
Fires right up.
Yeah, it's fine. I was going to say, I might have to adjust that idle mixture screw, but it sounds pretty decent right now. I mean, it's not...
You saw how hard it was starting the
The exhaust note is really clean. I can't really...
I like the sound of that, too.
Yeah. Sweet. All right, hit it. It always shocks me how loud this thing is.
I know.
All right, so we got it tightened, and now we're just letting it run again. See now it runs. Idle seems a little bit higher. Let's see how it sounds back here. little bit higher, not too bad.
Slapping around as much as it was before. Here's it right there, but not by too much, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that, but I'm happy with how it works. I'm gonna close the hood real quick. Oh. Can't forget my little Mr. Wire brush. Cool.
So we're working on some wiring right now. Michael's getting his license plate on currently. We got the back one on. So he's getting that set. And then we're going to take it to go get some gas. We took it right up the road real quick just to see how it did. And it was fine. It didn't stall or anything. Everything sounded okay. We adjusted the carb just a little bit. Not too much, to the point where we got the idle pretty good. And haven't really messed with the metering block because that seems to be fine as well. But you'll see us in a minute. We're going to take this up the road, and then we'll see how she does.
Yeah. And then I got to figure out the back, because the back's still it. But see, up that should be... I have it up. That should be the right blinker.
Okay.
So... Oh, so now I...
Oh! It was blinking. It was blinking! What?
It's just slow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that one was slow, too. It wasn't like it was...
Really happy about that.
I was like, what the hell's this? Like, I didn't know if it's actually something.
Oh, interior lights.
Mm-hmm. Nice and fancy.
Yeah. Well, is there a thing here?
Yeah. For the
So the
light
switch
sensor up
didn't
there.
work then. Probably the door switch doesn't work or whatever, so somebody put that in.
I mean, that looks factory in there, honestly. It's
Is
got
it?
factory paint on the top of it.
See, it's
so-
weird, though, because
I mean,
your
maybe,
door switch should do that.
maybe
And your dome
actually
light's
pushing
not coming on
that
either.
door switch. I haven't tested with the doors off. No.
No.
I guess it's just its own independent
Yeah.
thing. I
Hey,
mean,
at least you got interior light then, you know?
Yeah, that makes it a
AMC
lot
was
nicer.
on some weird stuff.
Well, we're about 2 minutes in so far, and everything's pretty smooth. There's a little ticking we can hear, so we can't quite figure that out yet. But it's done it even when it's idles, too. So it might just be something hitting somewhere. It doesn't get any progressively worse or better, so it's just something to keep an eye on like everything else. But how's it feel so far?
I mean, it's feeling just as good as it did on the test drive, which I like. Hopefully, I'm saying so far, because whenever I say it feels great, it breaks down.
Yeah.
Like every other car that I've ever owned. But I mean, it's my 84,000 mile, 60-year-old AMC Rambler and my 2005 Lexus that just turned over 279,000 miles on the way to your house. So between them, I have my fair share of issues. But I mean, so far, I'm just hoping it continues to run like this. I mean, obviously, it's not ready for me to go and whip it down the highway, down 95, up 83, anything like that. But I'm sure as long as we take care of the issues that we know are glaring, it should be hopefully just fine.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. It's not bad so far.
I mean, if I give it some gas real quick, like, I mean, you feel it pull. It just dropped
Yeah,
down
you can
here.
feel it. It definitely wants to move a little bit. So it opens up and it does let loose a little bit. We're not kicking it too hard, because then again, this is basically our first maiden voyage with it just by ourselves. But everything feels all right so far. We have arrived. So we got our first compliment, and it was the first guy that we passed.
As it should.
That was awesome. It is on your side, right?
Yeah.
I also love the door handle on this too. And then you actually push these down to lock them, and then you just push it back down again to get it out. So, pretty cool. Michael accidentally left the turn signal on. These things don't have auto off, basically.
It doesn't click up either. Like when you push it up, it's just like it's one.
Yeah, I
fluid
know.
motion. There's no click.
It's just something to get used to.
Have you ever seen Back to the Future?
Yes.
Every time I leave on the turn signal, you know the scene where he crashes into the barn and the turn signal's just slowly going on and
Yes.
off, and he walks out in the hazmat suit.
That's one of my favorite parts in the
what
movie.
that's what, like the slow blinker. That's what I think of every
Yeah,
time.
of course. I also I'll never get over the fact on old cars like this. I love the old the Tidewater Easton Maryland tag that this thing has. I just always think that's so cool on these older cars. I don't like it as much like on newer ones because you know that they have them.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
Now it's like Jones for a lifetime.
yes. Put 93 in,
Or
89.
Give it a mid-grade treatment. Wasted a little bit.
Minor
of
leakage.
But that's my own fault. I'll have to keep that in mind from here on out.
Yeah, just didn't have auto shut off. That's all. But
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, these things, as you can see, the little nozzle inside of them, whatever it is, they're built so that whenever the vapor backs up, we can do that. But there's no sort of charcoal canister or anything in here, so none of that fancy stuff. But anyways, as I was saying before, I got interrupted by my car spraying gas out the bottom. We did make it at the gas station, so we are here. I put in a full tank, so about 15
We're looking solid now.
So not too bad. Made it here with no issues. Might cruise around a little bit just to make sure we don't have any issues.
Yeah.
But I'll throw the gas cap on. I might inflate the tires a little bit because that back one does look a little flat, and I don't know when it last was. But other than that, I mean,
It's solid.
I'm happy with how it's
Had
going
no
so
issues
far.
so far.
Yeah, I'm just keep on saying no issues so far because something always goes wrong. But I'll throw in the
But
videos that Colby took.
Working
The
solid.
best part so far was the fact that I pulled in here and some guy slowed down his truck, and I was like, "What's this guy doing?" He goes, "Hey, that's a nice ride, fella."
The
So,
thing that gets me is
literally
that was
the
the
first
first person that we passed, and we were wondering why he was going so slow. And the dude just basically comes to a stop and says, "Nice ride, fellas," and we just screamed, "Yeah!" and high five each other. Literally one of the best moments possible.
Exactly. That's
what you
not
live
the
for
reason
with
that
these.
I bought this car, but it's easily one of the reasons.
It's a reason, but
bro, look at all these screws in here, man. Guys, get your stuff together.
doing good so far. So we're leaving Highs now. Everything went fine. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go to the high school right up the street, or do you want to just go up on 65?
I mean, I don't know how high school's gonna be if the football game's going on.
Okay. Do whichever you want.
Whip it up that way a little bit, see how it looks.
Okay.
Maybe pull over after like a mile or two and just see how the gas looks. Make sure it's not actively leaking out or anything.
You should be fine.
I'm sure we
If you see any dripping, it's probably just residual from whatever's still stuck up there because it spilled out the top.
A lot, so
Yeah, it went out for about 10 to 12 seconds. It was pretty steady.
yeah.
But other than that, we're fine nonetheless. I mean, nothing really to be too concerned about.
As of now.
Yeah, as of now, knock on wood. But we'll keep our hopes up. All right, so we're just about home. Getting home from our buddy Timmy's house. Went smooth. The main thing we need to address is leaks, and the first big one is obviously just the gas tank leak, obviously. So when you brake, you see some spill out, but then also when you accelerate for a minute, it spills out. But when you're just coasting and going at a steady speed, it's fine. So it's just at a certain level to where it does start to leak out. So that's the first thing we're going to address. Second is probably these door sills and just basic fluids. So we're going to do an oil change. We'll address that along with the coolant. We'll check that, and then the power steering as well. We can look at the brake fluid. We can check the reservoir there on the master cylinder, and then see how that's doing. Other than that, just basic checks for right now. But this is kind of just a little update, first test drive, and a little introduction to what the car is going to be like and how Michael's going to go about it. But yeah, as of right now, that's kind of all we got.
Light or you just...
I don't think so. So we just got done. We're back now, safe and sound. But I think our main issue to address is obviously the gas tank first. What do you think?
I'm thinking that, yeah, because it fortunately doesn't seem to have any leaks coming from under the hood. I mean, I'm sure something will spring up at some point, but all things considered, it looks pretty dry underneath it there, so...
Everything else is solid. I got a tarp out because it's supposed to rain this weekend, so we're going to cover it. We don't want these worn out door sills getting any rain in between them or anything, because these need reworked or just replaced in general. So we're going to work on that. You get his tools out, and that'll pretty much do it in all honesty. But there's just a little introduction to what it'll basically be. You say you really don't know what you want to do with it yet in terms of just kind of get some basic stuff done and see where it goes.
I'm not looking to have anything fast. I'm not looking to have anything that's going to be so pretty that I'm scared to drive it. I want something that I can cruise around and pull up to the gas station like tonight and have people be like, that's a sweet looking ride right there. I mean, we pulled up next to an old woman who later talked to us, but when we pulled up, she gave a big grin and she was just looking at the car. And I mean, cars have different stories for different people. You don't know what something can mean to someone else, but you never know. She could have seen these driving around and brought her back to her younger days. And you could have seen the guy driving around who's always wanted some sort of older car. I was, before yesterday, one of those people that would drive around and think, I want to own a classic someday, and now I've got something sitting in front of me that'll hopefully last me a good while and hopefully give some good stories to tell. So, I mean, just even going out tonight, I have more stories tonight than I did yesterday. I can say I took it out for the first time.
You can say it leaked gas.
I can say it just leaked gas out the bottom, but I mean, all things considered,
that was our only issue.
These aren't stories I had last week,
yeah.
So it's already something cool to go off of. I mean, there's
it's something you can look back on one day and hopefully one day tell your kids about, your future wife about when they first see it, and then they're riding in the car with you.
Yeah, tell my kids that I bought a car 35-ish years younger than I am.
Yeah.
Older than I am.
And if you can still have it in somewhat this condition, maybe even better, that's the heartwarming part about all of it to me.
I don't know. Every car has a story. And this car is...
Except for one's post-2000.
No, but I mean,
They're just there. Yeah, I
mean,
know what you
seriously,
mean.
like my car, it's got 279,000 miles on it, and you've seen the crazy stuff that we've
Yeah.
done in it. You've seen the camping trips we've gone on.
Oh, we've been
the
through
trips
hell
we've
with
gone
that
on,
thing, and the best
the
times with
times
that thing.
we've whipped it around in the cornfield, the times that we've taken it up to go to the largest buffet in the United States. There's so many stories that have gone on, and the fact that this thing goes back 60 years next year. I mean, the original owners passed in 95, but he bought it when he was 64 in 1964. So he lived out the rest of his life with this car, and then someone else inherited it, then the last guy owned it.
And now we have their death
sold it to me.
certificates.
Exactly. But
That's the one thing that got me when we bought this thing. I'm like, no way, that's the original one. And sure enough, it's the original owner's death certificates, and that really caught me off guard.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless, I see adventures that come with this, and
I definitely do
I'm
too.
praying that no big issues comes up. I'm praying that the engine and transmission hold up a long time, because they've held up 64 years, which is old, or 60 years, sorry, but I mean, as long as they hold up, and I feel like as long as I take care of it and address things when they come up.
You're not going to have any issues. I highly doubt it with this. Knock on wood, but I mean, it's just basic stuff so far. Things that you can expect with a car like this. That's part of it. You address them, and then another one pops up, and then you address it again, and then
if
you keep repeating that, and then you enjoy the adventures along the way with it. That's the best part of it all.
If something ever happens, there's always plenty of Crate LSs out there.
I'm ending the video now.
I wouldn't do that.
No, Michael would Hemi swap it and put the Hellcat scratch marks on the front headlights.
Put the grill splitter on the bottom. Okay, now we're just getting off topic.
That's very true. All right, yeah, that's kind of it, though, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. There definitely is. It's gonna be fun, but just another adventure along the way, and you guys will definitely see more of it. So, hope you enjoyed.